Hey, what's up? We're back on Spotify, the Stefs Rock Show. And we have a very special guest today, Jason Hook of Flat Black. Thank you so much for coming by.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So, Flat Black is anything but flat. And I also got to tell you, you look incredible. I haven't had you on the show in years and you haven't aged. What is your
Ah,
secret?
well, lots of facial moisturizer.
So, to moisturize the face. Okay.
Lots of
The
lots of products.
Lots of product. I don't use anything. I'll be honest. I'm like a dial soap and washcloth person. So maybe I got to up my game and
Ah,
take some advice from you.
there you go.
So the new album, Dark Side of the Brain, is out now. And then I've noticed in photos you have a tattoo on the side of your brain. Is there any correlation between that or is that just random?
That's funny. You're the first person to ask me about the tattoo.
It wasn't there, right? And you had long hair, like we look a little different and a couple years have gone by. But what inspired you to get the tattoo on the side of your head? Didn't that hurt?
It hurt. Yeah, of course. They all hurt.
Yeah.
Um, I it's funny because the tattoo happened before the album. I've
Oh.
had the tattoo. I got the tattoo done a year and a half ago. I knew that the album was going to be called that, so I put it on my head. Don't we all
Okay.
don't we all sort of have a dark side of our brain, Steph?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely have a dark side. I just thought that was kind of an interesting correlation that I saw you have this dark side of the brain tattoo, and that's the name of the album. I was like, that's pretty cool. Okay, so then the music video, I think it's interesting when artists do this, and I always want to know the story behind it or why. A bit of lightning. It's cool, it's deep. I want to know the story behind it and then why you guys chose to not even have a clip of you guys playing or any, clip of the band in the music video.
Well, the song lyrically really isn't about us. It's about, people that are in trouble. And that song was written during the pandemic when just about everyone around me was suffering like badly. So that's where the sort of the lyric came from. I had all kinds of like musicians and road crew guys and stuff, and everyone was screwed. And there was friends of ours that were losing their businesses, and it was a really rough period. So that that whole song came from that feeling of that period of time. Like I could use a bit of lightning to get me through the dark. You know.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Okay, so the
Um,
video.
yeah, what is
Back
the video story?
Well, the video story sort of reflects that, it's about a family that's, things just keep getting worse and worse and worse, and um, they're in real trouble. And so I wanted to sort of create that emotion when the people listen to the song, they get a feeling, and then I wanted the imagery to match the feeling of the music. So that's kind of where that happened. And and the other thing too is that we can be in our videos for the rest of our lives. So you do one without the band. I think that's kind of makes it kind of special.
And you guys made a thirst trap video, Halo. That's hot. You guys are just all in leather, walking in, gambling, playing on top with fire. That's your dating profile music video.
um, yeah, yeah.
It's you guys look you know what I like? It's like an old rock with new rock. I'm getting crew vibes with very modernized as well. And so it's kind of everything I dig about the rock and roll scene is what you guys were embodying in that music video.
Well, I think obviously I grew up with some older school music, and I find I find that there's something missing for me anyway. There's something missing in modern music where it's too fabricated. It sounds too sterile, too computer, too software. So part of the mission with Flat Black was to try to bring back what appears to be human element. Whether
Yeah.
whether we accomplish that or not, I don't know. But you know, I like big choruses. I like people singing in harmony. I like big obnoxious guitar riffs and guitar solos. That that um, that approach is kind of seems to be missing.
It makes sense because you have a Kiss shirt on right now. So that kind of
Well,
goes hand in hand
well,
with what you're
the
saying.
hottest band in the world, right?
Yeah, I love Kiss. I think I've seen them on their final tour like 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah.
So how did you individually meet Wes, Nick, and Rob? How did your guys' relationships form throughout the years?
Well, of course, I'm thinking of jokes like farmersonly.com and all this shit that
Yeah, Tinder, Grinder,
right,
but
Grindr. Oh gosh, not Grindr.
you were swiping.
The truth the truth is I put the word out to everyone. I was just, that's when you're trying to build something, you just sort of you have to notify the inner circle, you know?
Yeah.
So I was on the phone with just about everyone that I knew in the music business, said, "Look, I'm going to put a band together. So think about players if you have anyone in mind." And one at a time, I sort of found each guy, and I was looking for a specific type of players, um, high energy, somewhat obnoxious, not afraid of anything, lives in the, like kind of like that high energy zone. So I was very specific, and I went through many players to find what it ended up being each guy, And,
Wow. Is those flat black like your creative magic? It's kind of your baby?
well, look, everyone starts a band, you know.
Yeah.
It always starts with somebody, and so, but I wanted to make it a band. So I wanted to present it as a band, almost like, we were talking about older bands, and how, back in the day, each band member was equally as visible as the next, and everyone in the public sort of had their favorite member. I love Nikki, I love Tommy, or I love Dave and Eddie and Alex, and I just that's gone now. And so I just whether I don't know if it'll work or not, but my idea was to try to put a band together where each guy was just as important as the next, you know.
That's neat, like, pivotal that you guys were all important as a group. That's
They
cool.
are. I can't imagine replacing anybody because everyone's so strong at their role, that's sort of what really makes up our sound. I mean, that was the idea, and that way, hopefully, we have some kind of unique sonic landscape that you can only get from us.
I'm digging it. I've been listening to the album all week, so I love it.
Awesome.
Um, and then the It's Okay to Be Angry, that's my favorite so far, and it's like a mosh pit song to me. I like a good kind of like, "Ugh, get my aggression out" song. Do you mosh pit? Have you ever mosh pit?
Have I?
Yeah,
Not, not that I can think of. I mean,
because 'cause you're on stage, right? I mean,
yeah.
is
I
it
mean,
hard?
for the most part, for most of that stuff in the last 15 years. For me, I've been watching it from the stage. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm also not. I'm not that comfortable with getting elbowed in the face and breaking
No?
teeth, and like, I love angry music, but I don't want to take a fucking knee to the face.
Yeah, I like to crowd surf more than mosh pit. It's safer for me to crowd surf.
Crowd surfing, to me, I've seen some real scary stuff from crowd surfing because invariably what happens is these big guys start way back there and they're coming forward on the crowd, and there's some young girl in the front that doesn't know that the big guy is coming, and then the final people throw the guy, and boom, they land right on the poor little fan in the front. Face goes into the bar, blood, everything. I've seen a lot of that, and I just kind of wish that, like, I was trying to notify people in the crowd. I'm like, look, look, it's
Look
coming.
behind you.
Look
You
behind
gotta
you.
be aware the whole
Yeah.
time. I mean,
Well,
and I'm
because
tiny, so I crowd surf, but I'm like a little person.
well, that's better. But what they would
Still
do is
dangerous?
the last set of people holding is they're trying to launch you into the pit where the security guys will catch you and then escort you away. But if they don't make the pit, then whoever's up against the rail gets 200 pounds of person on
I
their
love
head.
that.
And I don't know, it used to break my heart. I wish we could. I started to say, why don't we hang up signs in the front of the stage saying, be mindful that there are crowd surfers behind you that may land on your head. Just so the
Yeah,
people standing in the front row be like, "Oh, okay, well, that's good to know." I mean,
I like
we
this concert and crowd safety from Jason Hook advice.
well, look,
Um,
yeah, who wants to see anyone get hurt, really?
no, I know. It's a part and I'll be honest, at this agent phase, I'm really in the media tent most of the time. It's rare that I make it out. If I make it out, I love this band and I've seen this band for a long time. I'm kind of like boring by the fans having water these days. So
Yeah.
I used to. I used to be more fun. So, how did you guys come together with Godsmack to start the tour and be on together?
Well, uh, I've known Sully from the prior experience, and we actually share the same management.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I think it was presented to them. Sully heard the record and said, "Yes, we'll take them out." So it was, what can I say? He's been a tremendous help, and we're extremely grateful. Look, it's very when you're trying to launch a brand new band. I mean, when Flat Black started, we had 0 monthly listeners. So our first show with Godsmack in Irvine, 5 Point Amphitheater, 0 monthly listeners, 0. So, it's hard to get a tour like that when you don't bring a lot of value. So,
But you've been such a prominent person in the rock industry for a while, so at least, you've had connections, but that was nice of Godsmack to be like, "Well, it's a new project. We don't know everything about it. We're gonna bring it on." I bet did you guys get a lot of listeners after that show?
oh yeah, it's very if you're trying to grow an audience, it's way more advantageous to play in front of 15,000 people that don't know you than to try to crank a club tour where there's, 75 people that love you.
Yes.
75 people already love you. They're already coming. They already have the record. They came, they saw it, they're happy. There's not a lot of growth happening there. You're just servicing your fan base. But if you get to play in front of strangers and they go, "Well, this is my favorite new band,"
Yeah.
I see it. I see a lot of growth. I see when we play in front of Godsmack's audience, we're picking up people left, right, and center. It's way better.
And I see the similar fan base between you guys.
Yeah.
Um, what was the hardest song off of Dark Side of the Brain to finish?
I don't know.
Or that you maybe even you're like, "I don't know about this one. I don't know if I'm certain about it." You're kinda second guessing the
Um,
song, but now you
oh,
love it or you've
there was a
chosen it.
there was a few of those on there. I mean, there's a song called "Villain" on there that that I was trying to pull off the record for a very long time. I didn't didn't feel like it had the teeth of the other tracks, but everyone was like, "Dude, that's my favorite song."
I
And the
like
lyrics,
Villain. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, what do I know?
No,
There
it
was,
interests me because everyone's opinion's so different, right? And
yeah,
so
yeah. So,
sometimes I've heard a band wanting to pull a song, and that's the hit song that goes on the record. So you
right.
never know.
Well, at some point, I mean, there was a lot of songs created for this record, 35 something songs.
Wow.
So there's still like a full album's worth of songs that didn't make it, and we were listening to those songs the other day, like, man, it's incredible that song didn't make it. And I'm like, who cares? It'll make it somewhere.
Yeah.
Just because it didn't make this one doesn't mean it can't come again somewhere else.
And it's cool you guys even did an album. It's becoming so popular to just do singles, 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 maybe a little EP, but to just continuously release singles or release social media content online. I like the old school version of an
Yeah,
album and a tour, but it's just becoming more rare.
yeah. I don't like that either, to be honest. I think it's confusing to the fans. Maybe I have antiquated thinking, but I'm like, finish your record. It's like,
Yeah.
like every 18 months, just deliver a new record. And yes, there may only be one or two or three focus tracks off that record, but it's still sort of it gives you a legacy because you have catalog. You have album 1, 2, and oh, I love the third record. Wasn't crazy about the fourth one. The fifth one is my favorite. Blah blah blah. I think it makes it really easy for like 12 songs, 12 songs, 12 songs, and they're packaged very much like the old days. I don't just release a song here and there and then do an EP and hopefully one song goes. I'm going to try to commit. I've already sort of expressed my disinterest in making EPs and releasing one song at a time. If I have it my way, and luckily I have freedom with Fearless, I'm like, we're gonna try to finish our records. Let's
Yeah.
fucking make records, and if it doesn't do well, then we'll start another one. I mean, whatever. But this
That's
whole like,
great that Fearless Record Company is giving you that freedom to
well,
kind
I'm
of do what you
trying.
want to do.
It's the same thing with guitar solos. There's no guitar solos either. So
Mm.
I'm gonna do things the way I think they should be done, and that's fine.
Bring back the '70s and '80s more and just do
Well,
like
no,
a
you
real
wanna,
guitar
like,
solo. Yeah.
yeah, like Led Zeppelin 1, Led Zeppelin 2, they didn't have, like, that single and no record. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just like it that way, and, what's left for me is just to do things that make myself happy. So,
For sure, definitely. So what is Jason Hook's guitar of choice?
oh, I play Gibson Explorers, baby.
Nice. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
You're like, I will whore out for Gibson all day long.
Well, I do have the tattoo on my hand.
You do, that is dedication.
I was forever,
Oh my
forever
gosh.
cemented with the Gibson.
That's hot. Does
Yeah.
Gibson have an OnlyFans? Would you go on it if they did?
Well, I would no, I probably wouldn't.
No, okay.
No.
Just had to check. Are you down to play fun random questions?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, what is the weirdest food combo that Jason Hook has put together or tried?
Food combo.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm food combo.
Are you pretty straight laced? Are you picky?
I'm picky,
You are. You're a picky eater.
but I'm also an experimenter.
Okay. Okay.
So, and I probably have an answer for this. I just can't think of what that answer would be right this second.
Yeah, but you have tried something weird, but you're mostly picky.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. What is something you spend way too much money on?
watches.
Watches. I thought it would be guitars. So what is
Uh,
are you a rapper with a gold watch? Like what is the bling bling watch
I
story?
collect watches, and I probably shouldn't.
You're like Flavor Flav, you need one as a necklace too. You always know what kind
Uh,
it is.
well, look, I mean, guitars are sort of a given. Guitars are tools, right? So I'm allowed to have tools, and fortunately for me, if I want a guitar badly enough, I can usually call up the manufacturer, and they'll either send it to me free or I'll pay some sort of ridiculously reduced artist price.
That's a
So
huge benefit.
so if they're not really ever that expensive, and and I do have way too many, and it's I'm in the guitar storage business, you know. It's
Yeah.
but watches aren't they're not a tool, they're not a need, they're just some self-indulgent hobby of mine.
We all have one. Well, we need to call up Rolex and be like, "Do you know who he is? You guys need to be sending him free ones and just
Right.
take photos with them." So
I
that's where the
don't
next
I don't own a Rolex.
okay. Okay, just other nice watches. I
There
never
are
wear watches. I don't
I
know.
know it becomes a thing, you know.
Yeah.
There are Rolexes that I like, but they're like the really expensive ones, not the run of the
Yeah.
mill. Yeah.
I like nice cars. That's my thing. Um, okay, what are you most excited about pertaining to flat black?
What am I most excited about?
Yeah, to still
Um,
do or in the future.
you know what? I mean, I'm excited. I'm just excited that it's freaking working.
Yeah, it's
Like
all come together.
it is so hard to launch anything new in the music business these days. And I learned a lot from the last 15 years, and I watched people try to launch stuff and have it not work. So I thought, well, let's make notes, and if I try this, I'm going to try to do it with the things I believe in, and it seems to be resonating. So what am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to the rest of today.
Yeah, just getting through today. You're
It's all
busy.
good. I wake up with excitement in my heart. I can't wait to look at the internet and see all the feedback, and being, I'm the driver. It's like if you own a Lamborghini, who wants to sit in the back seat? Not me. My
Yeah.
hand's on the wheel, and man, I get up early.
We need to get you guys to Aftershock, in Sacramento where I'm
Hell
at now.
yeah.
I love Aftershock Music Festival and
Is
get you
that where
guys
you
there.
live now?
Yeah, yeah, I'm back home. Yeah, I was in
Okay.
LA for a little bit, but
Yeah.
Sacramento is way more affordable. Okay, what are Jason Hook's red flags? If someone were to date you, what are maybe some of your red flags?
Red flags?
Yeah.
Ego.
Ego. Everyone's ego gets in the way sometimes.
Ego. I remember when I first moved to Los Angeles, I dated some model actress types, and I couldn't handle the fucking ego. Like, holy, simmer down.
Yeah.
You know,
Like thinking they were too cool for school kind of thing.
oh yeah. Well, the problem is, and I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole with this, but the problem is, the more beautiful the women are, the more popular they are, and popularity creates delusions of self-importance.
Yeah.
It's like, you know,
That's why I say I'd rather date a funny 5 than, like, a super hot 9 or 10 because
Well, there's always a wolf at the door, you see?
yes,
So
yeah, I
we're
want a
having a
5 to stay home and, like, nobody else is hitting on him and he doesn't leave my bedroom. That's the goal.
I mean, if we're being honest, ego is never attractive. I've seen girls that just live on Instagram. Everything is for Instagram. Every selfie, every blah blah blah, blah. I mean, that at some point you go, are we a couple or are we just a picture on Instagram? Not
That's a good
my
point.
not in my life, but I've
Yeah.
seen women behave like that, and I just think how obnoxious.
Yeah. No, I get that. You gotta live in reality too.
Yeah. Plus, being
Um,
in bands, you see other relationships up close. Like being in the last situation, there was 4 other relationships happening right in my face, so you get to see how everyone's a little different.
being in radio, I've definitely got to see the relationship and how it fluctuates when the wife is there and when the wife is not. There is a lot of, differences. We'll just say that. Not I wouldn't call anyone out, but, okay, if you could be any movie character, what movie character and why?
Oh, that's a good question. I might be movie character,
Yeah.
like a Disney type thing. I mean, I was sort of
Any
leaning.
any movie character. What's your favorite movie that and you maybe admired the character in that movie?
I like. Well, shit. If we're going back to, let's go back to Platoon, Sergeant Barnes.
Okay.
That won't mean anything to you or your audience, but you have to go look at.
But you're like military-esque, right? You
Oh
wanna
hell yeah,
fight? Okay, cool.
yeah.
You're ready for the
I'm a
Flat
very
Black has a military vibe to it. I could see you guys play for the troops.
well. Look, it that whole thing was a big part of my enthusiasm. I always told people I'm a self-professed military history enthusiast, and to like an obsessive level, I was always watching stuff about the great conflicts and studying them in detail and all the tactics and the you know it was something that was like really interesting to me and still is. And so that when we went to Iraq and stuff, I mean, I was up all hours flying around Black Hawks and shooting 50 cals. I just like that. I just
Oh.
like that whole stuff. So I forget what the question was.
The movie character, no, but that's a privilege you got to be playing for our troops and supporting them. That's really neat that you got to do
Well,
that.
if we're lucky, we'll be able to do more of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what is something that you think will be in fashion no matter what year it is?
In fashion, you mean like clothing fashion, or just like
Yeah,
the internet or AI
clothing fashion-wise, what do you
clothing
think will
fashion?
never go out of style?
Shoes.
Yeah, shoes, nice shoes. I thought you'd
Shoes.
say leather jackets because you guys all 4 rocking those leather jackets
Well, that's a good one. I missed
into
that
the
one, but yeah,
casino.
leather jackets seem to always have some kind of a vibe. I don't know, baseball hats.
Yeah. Yeah, you're covering your tattoo, man, you're
Oh,
not
yeah,
showing the
there
crazy head tattoo.
there
It's
it is.
that's wild. I wanna get a neck tattoo
After
really
see, can you
bad.
see it?
Yeah,
It's kinda gnarly.
that is gnarly, dude. That's you're on another playing field now.
Yes, I am.
Um, okay, last question. What is the last song you've had on repeat?
Oh my god.
Why? Is it embarrassing? Because mine get
No,
weird sometimes. Oh, okay.
no, I'm just embarrassed that I don't have an answer for you. I
Really? You
have
don't have, like, a last obsession, even if it's your song?
well, I mean, to be honest with you, okay, here's the real answer. So the Dark Side of the Brain record has been living in a Dropbox folder on one of my Dropbox folders. And the only way for me to listen to the whole album is to hit play, and then that file ends, and then you have to get to the next file, hit play, and then you have to get to the next one and hit play. And so I've never really been able to just push play and hear the whole album run in sequence.
No,
Like,
wait, do you know it's on YouTube, the whole album, and you can press play and hear it
well, I
on
can
YouTube?
now.
Yeah, okay, like, that's what I've been doing. Yeah, I was
I
like
can now, but for
okay.
the 2 years that it was just in a Dropbox, I couldn't really just sit back and hit play. I always have to manually go to the next file, hit play. So you ask me what I'm listening to. I'm actually listening to the album I'm just looping it and sort of enjoying it all over again, knowing that it's new to the public. So I'm trying to put myself in that headspace where it's new and I get to listen to it top to bottom. And how does it affect me as one body of work instead of me just picking up random files and listening to it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh, hey, you're still getting in technology, so I'm proud of you. You're understanding drop boxes and things. So
right.
I'm like figuring that out.
Yeah, yeah.
So leave us, Jason, with anything you'd like to say about Flat Black and what's going on for you.
Well, we're off for the next couple months, I guess. I'm going to be working on some new music. We have the physical album, the vinyl and the CD comes out in October, and the CD and the vinyl have a live album included.
Oh,
So,
nice.
right. So, like, who does that, right? Puts out a
No,
live
yeah, that's
album
rare nowadays.
with the album. But I figured, look, nobody buys records anymore. I understand that. I get it. But I said, let's put something on there that's special. So if anyone feels like they want to buy the record, the physical, there's something, some bonus stuff on there. So
Yeah, that's
live from
really cool.
Edmonton, side four.
Live with Flat Black. I love it. Well, thank you, Jason, so much for taking time out of your day and stopping by Steph's Rock Show on Spotify. And I hope you guys come up to Sacramento. I will definitely come out and see you guys. And I'm glad you're doing great and you look good. So moisturize,
Thank you.
everybody.
Yeah. 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 Fighting the good fight.
All right. Have a good one.
Thanks, Steph.